In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 11 roller coasters that could become my number one. And the thing with this video is that I've actually ridden some of these roller coasters before, so this may be weird, but however, I do truly believe that these 11 coasters have some potential, some of them some very small potential, but I think they all have potential to beat out my number one roller coaster right now, which is El Toro, which is an absolutely incredible ride. I'm going to be comparing all of these rides to El Toro, so without further ado, let's begin. So coming up first, we have Lightning Rod at Dollywood, and this is one of the ones that I have ridden. Currently it's around my number 2 or 3, I don't even know, but this coaster is just absolutely phenomenal. That quad down is one of the best moments on earth of any coaster element, period. There's just so much airtime from start to finish. This ride really does its best at trying to kill you. And not only airtime, but it does intensity really well as well. So now let's move on to Skyrush at Hershey Park, which is coming in. And by the way, this is in no particular order, but Skyrush definitely does have some potential too. It's been described before as just a more intense El Toro, which kind of makes me excited. But I mean, I don't know, this ride definitely looks interesting to me. I think if it's as good as some people say it is, it could be my new number one roller coaster. However, I'm going to try not to let my hopes up. I'm riding this next year. I'm just going to go on thinking it's going to be a fun ride. No more, but no less. So now we have Schwur as Karnan at Hansa Park, and this thing looks absolutely crazy. Like, I can't even emphasize how good this roller coaster looks. Like, it just looks absolutely bonkers. Like, everything from that special surprise to that drop into that big giant, I don't even know what the heck that thing is, and then all these crazy lateral transitions and all this ejector airtime you'd probably get on this ride. Like, this thing looks absolutely world class, and I cannot wait to get on it someday. So now we're moving on to X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And this thing just looks absolutely crazy. It just looks so disorienting. One of the most disorienting coasters ever. It's probably really intense as well. People have described the drop as being one of the best drops on Earth. However, other people have described it as just a really good drop and just the second Raven turn. However, I'm just really hoping that that's not the case. But however, if that is the case, X2 has an older brother, or a younger brother, I should say, Eejanaika, out in Japan. And yeah, this thing just looks like a crazier, like wonkier, just more seat flipping version of X2. Just, I can't even emphasize. Like, this coaster, like, the seat rotations don't look real. Like, they look dangerous. Every single element on this ride looks so intense. There's a 0G roll in there. This truly looks like it could be one of the best, if not the greatest roller coaster on Earth. So now let's move on to Expedition GeForce, and this is one that's definitely kind of ranged. Like, my opinions have changed on this coaster just in terms of, like, bucket list sort of things. The drop looks absolutely phenomenal. All these airtime hills look absolutely phenomenal. But is it intense is the question. That's really the main thing I have going for this coaster. However, if the airtime is as sustained as people say, and if the drop is as good as people say, we are in for a good treat with Expedition GeForce. And now let's move on to Steel Vengeance. So this really just depends on my rides on El Toro this year. If Skyrush for whatever reason disappoints me, and if my rides on El Toro disappoint me, I'm just gonna have this be my number one roller coaster, because this thing has the most airtime on the planet. I mean, yeah, it's not as aggressive as some other RMCs and some other roller coasters, but it just has so much airtime, really good sustained ejector as well. So now let's move on to the Voyage at Holiday World. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, I truly believe that a Hollywood Nights night ride on the Voyage in the front or back row could just really, like, make me fall in love with this roller coaster. People have said the airtime isn't that strong. I could see that. But I mean, just a night ride on this thing with the trims off, my gosh, this thing just would be so special. I truly believe in those conditions, it could be the best roller coaster in the world. So now let's move on to Intimidator 305 out at King's Dominion. This is my good friend Micah's favorite roller coaster. You all know that. This thing just looks absolutely phenomenal. So many accounts of people saying this is the most intense roller coaster in the world. Looks like it has some nice projector in there. All the transitions look so whippy and just like spine breaking. Like, I can't even emphasize how good this roller coaster looks. This looks like just a bigger and better badder version of Maverick. So now let's move on to DC Rivals Hypercoaster. And just that non-inverting loop alone is enough to make me put this thing on this list. It hits like negative 2.2 Gs, I think, or negative 2 Gs. I don't even know. Something really, really ridiculous. Oh my gosh. And that's pretty much the main reason why I think this coaster could beat El Toro. Also, the going backwards, I think, also really saves this coaster. But I mean, I don't know. In terms of like intensity, I don't know, people have said it's not quite there. But anyways, let's move on to our last spot. We have the Walibi Belgium Mega Coaster coming in 2021 or 2020. It's a long ways away, but I think this coaster does have potential to be my number one. It looks absolutely fantastic. It took some of RMC's greatest elements and Intamin just kind of put it into their own masterpiece, and I do truly believe this has potential to be one of the best roller coasters in the world. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. If there's more coasters that you guys think could beat El Toro, let me know in the comment section. If you think some of these coasters are whack, also let me know. If you think my channel's whack, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you all later. Peace out.